Welcome back to a scenario where civilization starts over. We are currently on episode 11, and yes, this is Angolan Mapper. Totally not someone else doing this video, because, I asked him. In the last video, I don't even know what happened, so, let's just get into it. In the first event of this video, the red team is going to be invading the blue team, because, they're a lot stronger, and they want land, because they've gotten a new leader recently that is very expansionist. But you think the red team is really going to stop at just the blue team? No, they're just going to invade the pink team and wipe them out within about a week. And then they invade into the orange country, quickly taking this major city on the border of the pink team. Then they send 2 regiments to meet up with an encirclement. They then encircle the capital and keep on pushing in from all sides. They then go for the lesser area and take it. And they start to move around the capital precisely before, actually taking it. In a peace treaty, the red team is going to fully annex all of these countries because they have the ability to do so anyway. Then we have the red team fully exploring all of the Nordics, and other than like Svalbard over here. Then they start to explore around the waters before they do something that is the last straw for the citizens. They fully claim literally all of this land, but then rebellions start to pop up around the entire country. Over here in Norway, we have a purple, like a midnight purple country, or rebellion. We have the blue team rebelling instantly, but they do get more land than they had previously. Then over here in the north, we have a huge rebellion group formed out of the rest. This throws the red team into a civil war. Seeing the opportunity of free land, this gray country decides to push into the red team's newly occupied land, or newly annexed. So does the blue team, as they are able to quickly rush up throughout the land. But the blue rebellion is able to take the rest of it, and they are now just at their peak, I think. I don't know if this is at their peak, but it does look like it. The red team does push back this Norwegian group quite a bit, but they continue to push towards the coast and meeting up with Sweden, their puppet state. The red team does start getting some wins finally, and they do push back the blue team greatly, like so. We have almost every single country that hates the red team sending supplies to the rebellion groups. And we actually have Ireland invading into Norway because they want a little colony. Over here in Sweden, the red team is forcing them to give them all of their resources, and the Swedish people are not going to stand up for that. So they come back as a new country, like this light blue color, and then they just declare independence. This is literally a nightmare for the red team, and they can't really stop it. The red team is able to destroy this aqua team, and that's because, what is the aqua team going to do? They are like new land, so they are going to stay to this area of Norway and Sweden in real life. But they will push down to the coast and disrupt the red team greatly with a logistical nightmare now. Then we have the blue team pushing back and taking this lake once again and getting narrowly close to Helsinki, or their capital. The Norwegian group continues to move up, and because the red team is distracted with like 5 other fronts, they are able to do this. We have the Irish moving swiftly across the coast and cutting the red team off. But the Swedes, who have been under control from the red team for about 5 episodes now, are going to fight for their independence, and they take back their lost lands swiftly. They also get Gotland easily because the red team wasn't really defending it for some reason. We then see a revolution happening all across Finland, and they are able to encircle the capital with help of the blue team. This revolution is to change the government of the red team, and it looks like they might just be able to do that. This land here is going to be divided. Let me just draw it off camera. This is what they had divided. Revolution quickly spreads around the rest of the red team, cutting off any other groups from, happening. But the blue team does take a teensy bit more land and reach to the coastline before they ultimately decide to stop. But then we have the Swedes make a naval landing near the capital, two naval landings to help the blue team and the revolutionists. The revolutionists are able to push in, and Sweden does capture the capital of the red team with hundreds of thousands of volunteers. This causes the red team to surrender as they see no hope. Anyways, let's look at a peace treaty. In this simple peace treaty, Sweden will get all of this, plus Scotland. Did I say Scott? Okay. And a little bit of the red team, because the revolutionists decided to give the Swedes a bit of land. These two get down here, get their fair share. The blue team gets this. You have a new country forming out of the red team, that is this greenish color. The teal team will be getting all of this land, like so, including this piece from Ireland. And the Norwegians will be getting something like this. And the Irish get the rest of their claim. And for capitals, right here, for the blue team where it was, right here in their only major city, right here, right here. And the Swedes will be moving their capital to right there, because they've been wanting to do it, but the red team the red team was not permitting them, and they also did not have the land to do so. Over here in the Italian peninsula and Austria, we have the lime team sending their troops through this very small border of the green team and getting pretty far. But because this is literally just mountains, they get pushed back quite a bit. And these guys barely even border. It's by 1 pixel. So I don't know how they're able to do this, but they continue to push up. And they do get military access from the purple country, so they are able to get pretty far in. But once again, when they cut off the capital from the rest of the country, they meet mountains, and mountains are not good, so they get pushed back a lot, and they lose like about 50,000 troops. But the lime team does continue to push up, and they eventually get around here because the brown team gave them military access as well. But then the Greeks make a landing right here along the coast of the lime team with the Adriatic, and they get pretty far in, even capturing the capital of the lime team. So the lime team retreats almost all of their forces to then push back the Greeks. But then Sicily joins in the war because they want some land in. The lime team is cooked by now. Even their colony falls within about 2 months. Then they lose their islands. This blue team takes Corsica because France. Then they fully retreat out of the green country. And then they start to push into the lime country. Sicily moves into the capital area, but the Greeks do take it. Anyways, let's look at a peace treaty. In this peace treaty here, the capital will be split between the green country and Greece, with Greece getting all of that, the green country getting all of this, and I forgot to color this, and Greece gets that. And the rest goes over to Sicily, including the colonies and Sardinia, and the blue in southern France gets Corsica. Over here in Asia, we see more exploration around the waters of Myanmar or Burma, and the same can be said for China, like this. Now they will have the waters. They also will map out the waters between the Arabian Gulf or the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. We then see Africa getting more discovered, but not too much, as desert. It's not very pleasant in this world. And almost all of Arabia gets discovered, other than this really hot part like that. We have the Teal team pulling an Ottoman Empire and going down to Yemen. And then they go down to Iraq, meeting up with this coastline like that, and leaving the rest up for grabs because they don't really want it, but they do go down to Qatar before they stop. We have Yemen expanding into all of this, and we see a new UAE country along this Omani and, well, the UAE's coast in real life. This is what they get in full, and I am just going to fix these guys' borders because it looks horrible. This is what the Turks now look like. I forgot Iran, it's fine. And then they just discover the rest of the Middle East because they can and they feel like it. The Portuguese are going to expand their colony. Well, I think they're the Portuguese, but the Spanish or the Portuguese are going to expand their colony into lands that look like this. Now it's time to add new countries into alliances. Joining the Square Alliance, we have Sicily deciding to join because they know it can benefit them, and they're in pretty good terms with Greece, which is a good thing. Another person joining the Square Alliance would be this Croatian / Bosnian country. Then we actually have this Russian country joining in on the Circle Alliance. I don't know if I recorded that, but Yemen joined. And then we have this country joining up with these guys. So does the blue team. Forgot to mention, but these guys snagged that island from the Lamb team. We see a new country in India forming that is going to be a lightish red. It's going to be pretty big actually, and they're going to cut India in half, which kind of makes people mad, but there's a lot of people moving here, and that's why the country is so big. We then have the Southern Indian team just claiming the rest, and we start to see more exploration around Asia, going into Korea before they fully discovered the peninsula, including this island. And that's nice for them, but is it really nice for them? You never know. We see a new seafoam greenish type of Korean country that looks like this and is going to spread very rapidly, in fact. Word of this new country is going to spread, and there's a lot of people living here now, but not as much as there is in the Chinese country. Speaking of China, they are going to expand only around this coastal area. Well, not only, but they're going to expand greatly into something like this, which is pretty nice. And Korea's going to get that island. We start to see more of Asia getting discovered, including Siberia. Well, mostly Siberia. And they get pretty far. Then they just decided to discover the waters because they can, and it's really cold up here, actually. But then we have a coalition forming on France for some reason. Portugal or Spain invades them. The Dutch invade them quite a bit, like this. And so does England, and they cut off the capital from the rest of the country. So does this blue country for some reason. They just want to fix their borders. And France is still in the rebuilding stage, and they're fighting countries that are almost every single one of these countries are stronger than them, other than this blue team. And Spain's going to push up, pretty far actually. The blue team does as well, but not as much because they're not that strong. The rest of this falls over to the Dutch and the English, like this. This capital isn't very defended for some reason, so they just encircle it and then capture it, which is nice. Looking at the peace treaty, in this peace treaty here, Spain gets this, the blue country gets this, we have a new purple country forming like this. The Dutch get all of that land, which is very much benefiting them, and the English get all of this land like that. This kind of leaves the French crippled, but they just gotta learn to deal with it. But we are going to have this country move their capital because it looks ugly. So these guys, they'll move it down here. But we then have the Swedes buying Denmark from whatever this is. Czechia. They buy all of Denmark, including 3 major cities, from these guys. They now own the entrance to the Baltic Sea, and that means a lot of trade, and they're getting really rich from this. So they buy a little bit of land from Prussia, including 1 major city, because they can get a lot more money, because this is a trading post. I will be shifting the color of the blue team, because it just looks too similar to Sweden. And it makes sense. These guys are a reformed blue team, so more of Asia does get discovered. And by Asia, I mean Central Asia, because, why not? But we do have the English accidentally kill someone that is on this border, which is from Ireland, and Ireland takes this as an act of war. So they make a landing in Wales, capture a major city. They make a landing in Cornwall. Then they make a landing right here between their border. Not a landing, but they invade. And because they're stronger than these guys, Navy-wise, they are able to push them back and, push very far into their country before any resistance is met. But we do have the English pushing back and recapturing Cornwall and half of Wales. They then push to cut off this major city, and then they encircle said major city. They continue to do this strategy on encircling major cities, and it proves historic as they are able to capture both back, like this. The Irish do have an advantage, and it's their navy, like I said, so they are able to recapture Wales, and then when they get pretty far down this country, they decide to ask for peace. But the English do not understand peace for some reason, and they cut it off. And now Wales is not really theirs. But you know what I mean. The English do push up, but they are unable to fully push them out of Wales. So the Irish do make an advancement to connect up their land, but the English instantly push back, and then when they recapture this little coastline here, they decide to agree for peace. But the Irish are having none of that now, and they push back quite a bit. Then they make a landing in Cornwall, just to take a little bit of land. And then they make a landing right here, which is, not really good, is it? And then the Irish move down the coast, and then these guys finally agree to peace. Looking at a peace treaty, we have the Irish taking an immense amount of land, like this, which is a lot. The English are quite mad at this, but they can't really do anything to stop it, considering that Ireland is stronger than them. But Ireland, I forgot, they're not supposed to have that. Or, there's a little coast here, so I don't know why I drew that in, but yeah, there we go. Anyways, that will do it for today's video of What If Civilization Started Over. Hope you had a good day. Goodbye.